Hello YouTube, this is Bub's Comics coming at you with another Grail haul. I tell you, the hits just keep on coming. I don't know if I'm finding them or they're finding me, but you know, anyway. The last book I'm going to show today, you can skip ahead if you want, but there's some pretty good ones in between. Is a book that is it's never really been on my top of my want list. It's always a book that kind of waits in the wings. And I just have never liked the price for it. So, but this time I found it for a great price and I pulled the trigger. So anyway, the first book in the group is Marvel Superhero Secret Wars #4. So this is an upgrade book. I already had a copy of this book, but it turned out that the one I had seen it in a box, and I pulled it out, and I didn't pay that much for it. I feel like I had paid maybe $4 for it or something. And I pulled it out like that far. I knew what it was, so I just threw it in my stack. I was shopping at an LCS, and it had a sale, so it was kind of grab it or leave it kind of thing. And then I realized that this bottom had like a big tape pull on it, like across the whole thing. It was pretty bad. It kind of reminded me of, you have to be careful with those self-adhesive backings on some of those bags that are self-sealing bags. Across the back, it'll have a strip of basically one-sided glue that the flap sticks to. Well, the flap doesn't keep any glue on it. It's pretty good about that. But if you lay that like open on a book, it'll rip. It'll really do a real nasty number on a book. I've seen it happen. My son's done it before. So anyway, that's what it looked like it had across the bottom. So this is my upgrade copy, and then I guess I wasn't paying attention, but it looks like it's got some brown schmutz or something coming all along the side here. So now I have 2 copies of this book that I'm not happy with, and I'm gonna have to upgrade. So such is the life of a low-grade collector. Let's move into some better books. We've got X-Men 99, Uncanny X-Men 99. Couldn't pass this one up for a couple of reasons. One is that it is a really, really cool book. I mean, just, you know, trying to collect X-Men 94 on through about 280 or so. That's kind of my target range. So whenever I see a book that's a good price in that range, I pick it up. This is a great book here. Great example, X-Men 99. And the inside, the first page, is signed by Chris Claremont. So that's a signed book. Now, I don't mind when the writer is signed on the inside. If it was a cover artist, I kind of like it on the cover. But a writer or an editor, that's okay to sign on the inside. Now, what's funny is that I've passed on a couple of books recently that I've wanted the books signed, but they were signed on the interior and then slabbed. If you have a book signed on the interior, don't slab it. That's so silly. I mean, I understand for selling it and everything, you get like a verified signature or something. But like a yellow label book signed on the inside is so silly to me. Or when someone slabs, you know, gets a red label on a book signed on the inside. I know that they're just trying to sell it, but man, you know, you raise the price on it because it's verified, but I wouldn't want to keep it in the slab. It's so silly. Anyway, here is X-Men #100. Picked this one up. I bought this one at an LCS, actually, which is a rare LCS purchase for me. Here's X-Men #100. So the story on the 99 was I had walked into the shop to buy supplies, and the shop owner said, he came out of the back and he was like, "Hey, weren't you looking for an X-Men 99? I said, "Actually, I was looking for an X-Men 100, but I already bought it, and it's coming in the mail in a couple of days." He said, "Oh, that's cool." I said, "But if you have a 99, I'd be happy to take a look at it." And then he showed me this book, and you know, I worked him down on the price a little bit and bought it. So there you go. There's my X-Men 100. This is a replacement book. The book that I had prior to this had a faux Stan Lee signature on it. It was really badly done. Didn't look real at all. And so I went ahead and gave that up. Gave it back. I returned it to the person I bought it from because I had bought it kind of like just based on a picture. Didn't really get a good look at it. So I returned it, and it just wasn't real. You could just tell it wasn't real. And I got my money back, and that was some months ago. That was like back in the summer. So really glad to have this book back in the collection. I didn't have an X-Men 100 in my collection until that got replaced. So next we have Worlds Unknown #4 by Marvel Group. So this is another kind of Bronze Age, I don't know if it's called it a horror cover, but a sci-fi fantasy cover. It says man versus monster while the Earth's fate hangs in the balance. Just a badass monster, man. That's just a great cover. I love that. That is some good work. I don't know who the artist is on that, but it looks fantastic. I like that a lot. Next we have a quick pickup. It was Amazing Spider-Man 254. Picked a couple of these up, these two up off of Instagram for $1 a piece. So ASM 254, just a couple away from 252, which I have. So I guess I'm missing 253, right? So, but I just thought it was a cool cover. I like this black Spidey suit and the Spidey sense. So pretty cool. Let's move into some Golden Age. First up, we have Famous Funnies #94. This book is from 1943. So this book's from 1943. One of the things I like about this one, first of all, it's a pretty good shape, pretty clean copy. It looks like it has some transfer from another book on it that was maybe leaning against it. So all that red and pink you see up there, that's transfer. But it also has a stamp. It says New England News. So my guess is probably a newsstand copy, you know. A little stamp there. And it says Famous Funnies. And I really like it for the War Bond ad that it has on it. It says for victory by United States Defense Bonds and Stamps. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it's got the monkey shining the shoe shiner's head. And I grew up in New York. I remember when I was working downtown in the Wall Street area, I would stop and get my shoe shined like once every 2 weeks or so. And I really enjoyed that. It's a nice little feeling to get your shoe shined. It actually feels nice. It like makes your foot all numb and everything. Anyway, it's probably more info than you care about. But if you've never had your shoe shined and you have a nice pair of leather shoes, then I highly recommend it. Pretty cool experience, and it's just cool to see the guy doing that, and then the monkeys. I mean, really, if it's got an ape or a monkey on it, I'm sold. So this is a 10-cent Famous Funnies number 94 from 1943. Let's move. We'll put that up there. And then another Golden Age. We have Wings Comics number 60. This one is from 1945, I believe. And this is my first Lee Elias cover. So really happy to have this. Probably not the best example of Lee Elias work. This isn't a highly sought after book by any stretch. That just looks pretty cool, I think. Colors are not as vibrant. I've seen some copies of this book where this is like really, really bright orange and the yellow is really strong. But actually the muted covers on this book kind of blend it pretty well. It's all even and it makes it look a little bit older than it is, even though 1945, plenty old enough. But with the colors just a little bit lighter on this book than other examples I've seen, I think it actually looks better. It looks older and it gives the book a little bit more character. So there you go. Wings Comics number 60 from 1945. Lee Elias cover. My first one. I'm very proud to own that. Next we have the Pretty Girl Sketchbook, which is hilarious because I've never known Frank Miller to be the artist of Pretty Girls. She looks rough, man. That's pretty bad. But in any case, I think they're going for like a Bond type villain here with that gun and the silencer on there. What this is this has a ton of artists in it. George Perez and Chaikin Miller and Bob McLeod, John Byrne, John Beatty's in here, Jerry Ordway. Just a lot of great artists in here, and the centerfold is actually signed by John Byrne. So at some point I'll probably do actually my favorite sketches in here are the Byrne sketches and the Bob McLeod sketches. So really enjoy that. Mike Zeck has a sketch in here too. So I think I may actually get a couple more signatures on this book. I think I'm going to be seeing Zeck in a couple weeks. And I might be seeing Beatty also in a couple weeks, and he's got a couple in here. So if I can, I'm going to try and get probably not every one of them signed. I think maybe some of the creators aren't around anymore, but if I can get every one of them signed at least by one of the artists each, then I would be happy to do that. So we'll see. I'm also going to ask, being the cheapskate that I am, I'm going to ask each individual artist to go ahead and sign multiple, like every one that they worked on, to go ahead and sign it, and maybe only charge me for one signature because it's only one item with multiple signatures on it. So we'll see what they say to that. But you don't know if you don't ask, right? The answer is always no when you never ask. And next for the Grail haul, this is a book that I really wanted, but it wasn't high on my hurry up and buy list. In fact, it was very low on my hurry up and buy list, just because it's not my favorite character, it's not my favorite artist, but it is a key book, and it's important. You know, I think it's I guess Copper Age probably key, but it's New Mutants 98, and I know this is an ultimate grail for some people, and for me, it's on the list. It's definitely a book that I wanted to get. This and ASM 300 are the two books on my list that I just don't want to pay what they're asking. This book I didn't want to pay over $2, and I didn't. In fact, I paid quite a bit less than that. And for ASM 300, I want to pay less than $2 as well. Both these books average over $3, and especially in this condition, you can see, let's see if it'll focus, just how sharp those corners are. And all the way up. Pretty good example of the book. Looks pretty good. I don't see any spine ticks or wear along the book. I know it's hard to see, and the Mylar can mask a lot, but I don't see any spine ticks or wear on this book either. So pretty solid example of this book. I really it does have a pinhole that goes through the whole book. Now I have and it's around here. You can't even see it in the camera or anything, but it's there. It's in this girl's glasses, and it goes all the way through the back of the book to there, which you can almost see that right there. You see that little white speck? That's a little pinhole. So my question to the community is, what does this get graded at? If it weren't for that pinhole, I would say it's probably about an 8.5 or a 9, maybe better. But I would say it's high grade. So that to me just means 8.5 and up. But with the pinhole, what is that going to do? I don't think it would get a qualified grade. I don't know what they would do, really. I haven't sent enough books in to say CGC to know what they would do with this book with a pinhole in it. It goes through every page, including the front cover and back cover, but I know you really can't see it in the video, but even to the naked eye, you just can't see it at all. It's like invisible, but it is there. So if they did their job really going over the book, they would see it. And so what does it get? I don't know. But anyway, that's my haul. Hope y'all enjoyed it. New Mutants 98. Really did not expect to have this book in the collection this year. It's a total shock, but I'm happy to have it. And so there you go. So I've got New Mutants 98, and I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. You know, when you're a low-grade collector and you set that price, that budget max, sometimes, like I was this time, you're just shocked when you end up with it. I mean, to buy the Rifleman 10 and New Mutants 98 in the same, basically, weekend, it's unreal. Like, it blows my mind. I was hard hunting the Rifleman book, but this book just kind of fell in my lap, and it was mislisted as a New Mutants 97. So watch those mislistings, everybody. All right, well, that's it. That's what I got for you. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Ran a little long, I'm sure, but we'll check you out later next time on BUB'S Comics. And when you get done watching this video and other ones like it, read a comic. Thanks. Bye.